Seems to have been the foul up, Karen, because we're not seeing it on this end either. You can go to the website and get the agenda, but the only thing on there is the minutes and what else?
There's the approval of minutes and then the recommendation of internal auditor candidate from application received and the request for proposals.
You should be able to start streaming on YouTube now.
There is an agenda.
So there is, yeah.
Can someone put the link in the chat? I did go to the website to look for the agenda, but I couldn't locate it.
Why is mine showing up?
Oh, it's not here either.
So scroll, click on meeting files.
Are you looking at Brian?
And then there's your agenda.
Just trying to.
Oh,
look
okay.
here at the-
You gotta go to the meeting. Okay,
Today's the
so there is an agenda.
yeah,
Okay.
that's okay. We can move through it.
So, we can get this started. But Stephen, where are we're reviewing where are those at?
I mean, they're not in item number 2. This isn't. I don't know. This isn't not the person creating the agendas, but I can just see that you've got item number 2 that says recommendation of internal auditor.
Right.
And then I don't see any
attached.
Correct.
Okay. Let's see if they're bringing something in.
And sometimes we do sealed proposals. We look at here.
So it should be a very short meeting, Karen.
Super.
Did we want to go over the internal audit report? Is that on there?
No, literally.
This one, right?
Call to order.
Yes.
Call to order, citizens to be heard. General business action items, approval of the meeting minutes, recommendation of internal auditor candidate from applications received in request for proposals. Those are the only items on the agenda.
Okay.
So I mean, on number 2, you could talk about some of those things. But that's what the meeting's limited to. So. And Karen, if you go to Grand County, if you just search Grand County, Utah, .net and then a space, and again, you're putting this in a search, not into the address bar. If you go agendas and minutes, you should come up to a screen that gives you the all the breakdowns.
So
And let me see, I might be able to just send.
I do have the responses to the RFP as well, if we need those.
You do?
I do, yeah. Yeah, Mark sent a folder, I downloaded them here.
I just emailed all 4 of you those. One is 21 pages. So if y'all can pull that up on those links,
Did you include Karen in that?
I will copy Karen.
I haven't looked at that one. I have the old one.
I'll
Karen,
What's Stephen Vowels?
What's the beginning of your email?
Karen.curtin
Yours is
at
it.
us.orbisbazars.com. I just put it in the chat.
It says I need access.
You're gonna need access, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't download the PDF.
All right, I sent that to Karen.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Maybe I can download these PDFs and
Sure,
send
sure.
them to everybody?
Maybe even share the screen so we can put them up here.
Is there a way to, it's the easiest way to share the screen here?
Mine won't let me open it, Mark.
You don't
It says I have to have
What's that?
You have to get on your computer, on the Zoom. All right, let's see if you follow the Zoom invitation link, then you should be.
I didn't, and that was part of
It
it
should
right
be part of
there.
the invite, the Zoom link.
That I didn't see. That's,
Okay.
there you
Was
go.
it
That-
there?
I mean, I just got this on my invite right here.
Is
Look,
it on your, it's on a calendar? Is that what you're just,
that was what I was just looking at. That's what I didn't see earlier.
yeah. Great.
I didn't get a.
Karen, I've just sent you the link to the agenda.
Okay, which wants me to sign into a Google Drive?
No, that's the link for the RFP documents.
Let me download what I got here. And then I'll just email this to everybody if it has attachments.
I got the attachments now.
You got it
I'm
open?
up. Yeah,
Okay.
I got permission.
I do have the link to the agenda, but nothing is downloading. It says network error. Do y'all have these in PDF by any chance? Maybe you could email them?
I can download it. Yeah, everything's just in the website. It's accessible. But I'll add it to you. Send it to
Yeah,
you.
I'm sorry, it's not
That's
working for me. I don't know. Could be a filter on our side. Although I have downloaded before in previous meetings and it's worked. So I'm not sure.
I've sent the agenda over, and then I can send over the meeting minutes.
I'm gonna send the PDFs.
I'm sending all the PDFs
You
now,
got it? Okay.
Yeah. but not the PDFs of the RFPs.
I can send.
Can you? All right.
Okay, those are all sent over to you, Karen.
Thank you.
So did you send her the PDF also?
I've sent her the agenda, the meeting minutes, and then the summary on one of the items. I've not sent over the.
Okay, I'm RFPs.
What's?
Thank you.
what is it?
I think the problem is that it wants me to sign in and that's why.
Well, this sign-ins for the RFPs, you want me to send it down? You want me to send you the RFPs as well? Okay.
Well, are they the ones that I drafted?
No.
You don't,
Sent individuals, so you should have them.
oh,
That you
the
can-
replies.
Give me two more seconds. I'm just downloading all of them.
I got them downloaded. I can get it here.
I'm almost 30 seconds away and I can email.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Was that a leadership meeting this morning?
And other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was there 3 of them? One?
Yes, there's 3. You open those?
I'm able to open them. Did you get them to Karen?
Let's see, we'll see if she got it.
Yes, I sent them to Karen.
Yes.
I have the agenda now that I just got from Stephen.
Yeah. It's PDF.
Do you have the 3 RFPs, Karen?
No, I do not.
They're on the way.
I've sent you 2 of them, an attachment, and I've got 1 more coming your way.
Okay. These are the responses to the RFPs?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Well, that's exciting that you got 3 responses.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can call this meeting to order. I see no reason to not do that. I'll just call the Audit Committee meeting to order. The time is 11:11 on Thursday, the 8th of May. Those present, Commissioner Adler, Commissioner Martinez, County Attorney Stephen Stocks, myself, Commissioner Winfield, and Administrator Mark Tyner, and Quinn. Mind me your title, I apologize.
Associate Administrator.
Associate Administrator with Karen online. Karen Burton from Forvis Mazers. All right, and so the first thing we have then is approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. If somebody wants to.
I'll move to approve the meetings from the previous meeting to meet the date.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Hassler, seconded by Commissioner Martinez.
February 24th.
Yeah, the minutes,
Yes,
there, and just to know, it did seem like there was a little bit of confusion though, when I did read through the minutes on what our instructions were to, was it EFG or EKG?
I think EF.
EFG, yeah, it wasn't clear on if the EFG left before we had made our motions for instruction or after. I don't know if anybody remembers, did they leave before we had made them?
Mark and I discussed it this morning,
Oh,
and
did
we
you?
believe that we asked him to finish what he was in the process with, and we were gonna push the other requests that were had in the meeting to the new internal auditor.
I believe that's right.
Okay.
That's the way Mark.
I just, yeah, when I read through them, I was a little bit confused on how that timeline worked right there.
We,
So
we were
thanks.
too, and that's why we discussed it, so.
Wait, are you good with accepting the minutes as they are, or do you want to?
I am,
Okay,
yes. I
okay.
just needed
Just
that
make sure.
clarification real quick.
No, that's fine.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. We can go on then to the review of the RFP for a new internal auditor. And we can start with, let me see here.
Next,
ConXig LLC, is that, I don't know, I might be butchering that.
next.
And as I haven't had a chance to review these, so I would just suggest that we do it while we're right here and go through these. And
Have you read them over, Mark?
No, I have not.
Yes, Karen hasn't either, so.
So we're on, these are the ones that you just emailed, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
So ConXig.
Right, sorry, I'm on my phone here. That's not custom strategic solutions, right? It's
No,
No.
GPP. Oh, there we go. It's the 21 pager. Yeah. Oh, it's-
Miami, Florida, Houston, Texas office.
That's Karen, if she's heard of any of these companies previously.
Karen, are you familiar with any of these three?
The Connex, no. The GPP Analytics, no. And the third one is Custom Strategic, no. I have not.
They're 170 an hour.
Yeah, this is relevant. What are the relevant points? So this is,
You have no conflicts of interest. Let's see if there's something else inside here. Said something about a blended rate, so I'm just trying to figure out what that is.
What page are you on?
Page 19. Confidently while ensuring high quality, our blended hourly rate for this project is 170 per hour. That's it, yeah, so that's just all services included will be 170 an hour.
Quinn, how many hours have outside auditors traditionally spent on?
I don't know about the total amount of hours. I do know that in the past, the commission has budgeted $10,000 a year for those services to take place. And usually it's come in slightly under that, just based on memory, I think 9-ish.
Yeah.
Um,
Roughly 55 hours or so. Seems reasonable. Yes.
yeah, I would say that seems about right.
How
Traditionally.
many hours do you say we get for that?
I just do a really rough estimate. I can do the calculation.
You said 50?
Roughly, divided by 170.
That's 9,300.
58, yeah.
Well, I think for just a preliminary view of it, I can move on to the next one. They seem to have all of the.
Yes, do they have references, like if they work in counties of our kind of level, I guess they.
Yeah, they provide. So,
The references are on page 17. They list the state of North Carolina.
Remember me which company we're looking at right now?
Salt Lake City.
Con- Conexig, Exig, Capgemini.
Okay.
Good one. Are you moving on to the next one, Bill?
Yeah, I went back actually to look at their references, so.
Yeah. I didn't see any counties, definitely businesses. State of North Carolina is pretty,
Was it Salt Lake County as well at the top?
The con exit,
On exit, I think. It's underneath their conflicts of interest.
what page?
No, it's Salt Lake City Corporation. What that is.
What page are you on?
Hold on. Page 3. We are not engaged in activities that would conflict with interest of Grant County. However, we'd like to disclose we have initiated the process of finalizing a master agreement with Salt Lake City Corporation. I don't know what Salt Lake City Corporation, is that Salt Lake City or?
so the GPP's done work with a couple of counties, Monterey County in California, the city of Richmond, the city of Sacramento, and also the Utah Division of Emergency Management.
It's GPP.
Yeah. It listed references.
Also 170 an hour.
So it's going right.
Which one is this?
GPP.
Okay.
Do you know we paid an hour with our last what was it EFG? Is that right?
I don't know what we paid. Hourly. Last one. Cody.
I don't know that we paid hourly with the bills were broken down into an hourly basis. I just know that we had budgeted 10,000. I don't remember seeing a breakout. I could go look and see if I can find that. Let me see if I can find that real
The
quick.
city of Sacramento.
Yeah, and Richmond as well. It's large.
Yeah, certainly government entities.
And then the county of Monterey in California too, that's a
Brian, when you
Do you
Google,
see any references on the,
Okay, so that is the
The-
city.
that's the only
Okay.
thing that comes up.
What was that, Karen?
do you see, I don't see any references on the CSS proposal.
Let's see, oh yeah,
We're still on GP.
Okay,
you say Monterey?
yeah, county of
I wonder if
Monterey.
they, I wonder if they worked with Clint Eastwood then.
Right? He was the mayor of
The mayor of
Carmel.
Oh, was it Carmel? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
which
right.
is in Monterey County, I think.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Jackson County, Oregon,
Are you looking at
GPP still.
Oh, okay.
Where do you
Washington
see
State
that at?
Department, page 16,
Yeah.
they have it kind of listed down in some of their, they have it under government, miscellaneous government operations.
I see it there now.
They have a pretty robust
Yeah,
list of government entities they work with.
Yeah, those invoices were not broken out.
throw it out an hour.
Yeah, I'm with Karen, I don't see references on the other one. Just resumes.
GPP certainly has a big list here.
Where where they located? Any address? Not that it matters hugely.
the references are on page 7 of 28 on GPP.
And what do you know of GPP?
I don't know anything of GPP, but they do have a more comprehensive reference list, and it is more government focused than the other two.
Yeah, and then we found some also, I think on page 14, it goes into even more depth.
Yeah.
14 and 15.
GPP's address is California.
Does it say where?
Los Alsos, OSOS.
Let's say this. That's.
And it says they have, team members in California, Texas, and Oregon. That's on the top of page 3.
We still have GPP.
I haven't moved on yet. I'm page 22. They certainly break out. They do quite a bit.
Is there, did y'all find the price on GPP
Yeah, 170 an hour.
What page is that?
also?
Yeah, I don't know what page, it was close to the end, maybe 3 or 4 pages up from the bottom.
Just trying to put the rest of it there.
Yeah, it is. It's page 26.
What was the other one offering 170 an hour?
Yeah, so
That was
same.
Coniston?
First 2.
Yeah, both first two. So
Thank you.
And they do have a line in here. Travel expenses for in-person site visits throughout the engagement.
That's not very clear, is it? It says we propose a blended rate that covers. I understand the labor and the project management. I don't understand how a blended rate covers travel expenses.
Yeah, that would be worth clarifying.
Mm-hmm. But I do like the all of the references and the governmental work. It's far more robust than the CSS.
And that's the GPP?
Sorry, I'm just trying to keep up.
Mhm.
So CSS, I'm on.
CSS doesn't have a reference.
I didn't see
CSS,
any references.
cost for CSS is 10 grand though.
Yeah, 150 and 140 per hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, 150, 140 total estimated cost of 10 grand.
Yeah,
So we'll probably be going over. Now. If they're at on the other ones, they're at 170, and we're looking at 140 and 150.
Expect it to be 10 hours.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
So you look at 70 hours at 170.
Dude, is this what, so this is in our budget for 10 grand, Quinn, is that correct? Right now, or is that last year?
That was last year. I don't know whether we bumped it up or not. I can check.
However,
say-
I think with GPP, you can limit their hours.
10 grand was in the budget for our financial expert. I want to say that Cody was upwards of 30, I thought.
That was for his assistance in the budgeting season on the year Chris left, but for his portion of just the internal audit was only 10,000.
Okay, thank you.
And at 70
You're right, no, that
hours,
was
you
high.
get 11.9.
And so you guys said CSS was at 150, 140?
Yeah, 150, 140.
And the estimate overall, 20 hours for the principal and 50 for the senior.
I think you guys have a lot of discretion there because you're assigning the projects. And if you limit the number of projects or be very specific with what you're looking for, I think you can control the number of hours. That makes sense.
Jacksonville, Florida is where this.
Yeah. I just think the fact they didn't have references is so.
I'll look at that. You didn't find anything in there
No.
on CSS? I haven't even got that far yet.
Has her experience.
Maybe they're just doing.
I'm on page 16, but
Your bios.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tell you, I'm a CPP fan of the three.
GPP,
GPP, thank you.
Yeah, they certainly
that's
seem
where I'm at, looking so far.
to have the most compelling case.
Maybe there's another word that they use, but reference isn't even inside of their the CSS's document at all.
What page are you seeing those on?
14, 15. It's under the bios where they're talking about the.
Oh, right, I see.
14, 15, you said?
Those don't look like they're kind of similar scope to what we're asking for. Looks more like private business stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah,
First one. Is that the same as the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that comes out of commission professional services. It's for 10,000 this year.
thank you.
Yeah, I don't.
I think like Karen says, we,
Clarify the travel cost?
well, we clarify that and then we control,
The
Control
hours.
the ask.
yeah.
That's in CSS or
GPP.
GPP. Okay, thank you.
I think CSS is, to me, is just kind of not up to.
Yeah, it's between Connex and GBP, and GPP have better references.
Or at least it looked
It
more.
would look like they,
More experienced with kind of.
Yeah, Cap Gemini was listed twice. And that is, according to Google, a French multinational information technology services and consulting company. I don't think that's very relevant reference. Y'all could reach out to a couple of their references.
diligence.
That and reach out to them to clarify there, right? The pay schedule.
Right.
Yeah, I assume that they're gonna charge travel fees. I mean, I don't know how they could not charge travel expenses. But how much on-site work does this require versus off-site?
One visit a year, is that reasonable?
Yeah, I would say one visit would probably.
Yeah.
If we actually wanted to, you could probably do no visit.
Right, you could probably just do it on Zoom or just.
Yeah.
Nah, it's where, I mean, we're.
I think that in the past, and so one of the things that we did find helpful about Cody and his on-site engagement was that in the past, he was able to go around and visit with the different components of the county that do collect cash, and then make sure that those cash receiving systems were robust and as close to fraud proof as they could be. And so having that in-person interaction, talking with those department heads and seeing the method by which they were collecting cash and receipting for it and then transferring it to the clerk's office and getting it to the safe in the bank to minimize the risk of fraud, I think was very helpful to have those in-person. That part of it being in-person was very helpful. And then he would go back and write up a report on the in-person engagement. That's typically how it's done in the past. However you guys want to do it.
Yeah, very good. That makes perfect sense. So for whatever engagement you select for this year, then I think you should budget in one visit.
Right, and just have them at their one visit, go to all departments, and check
For
in,
whatever-
be working on for that year, so.
Yeah, I do think in the past, that's the way it worked, was that the commission offered some level of direction, like, oh, we'd like to see,
Yeah,
they would name a couple of departments. It was usually only two. Because between, like, say, for example, one year was Sand Flats. So he went up, he spent the day at Sand Flats with them in the booth, and he's got the entire, like, the rundown of the whole cash receiving process. So he'd come back and kind of write out, hey, this is how you can improve this. These are your vulnerabilities, change this and this and this. So I think two departments, I think you'd probably be looking at least 2, maybe 3 days to do those two departments and get a really good feel for them.
You mean the ones-
Probably in 2 days.
The ones that handle the cash.
Yeah, and it's been a couple of years since we did Sand Flats and Osta, and then the Grand Center was, I think, more recent, but then the clerk's office got it too, and there's a bunch of different systems we have where money flows to the county that could be looked at again, even, I mean, things change over the years, so.
well, and I think we were gonna give some direction until we decided to put out a new RFP,
Yes.
so we've already got that in the last minutes. I'd have to go dig them back up where we were wanting to go.
But that's sort of a different topic, right? This topic is try to pick who your internal auditor would be. It sounds like you're heading in the direction of GPP, but you want to clarify the travel and maybe call a couple of references.
Yes. So do we want to make a motion and make that choice now and make it tentative based on,
Yeah, I'll go ahead and get it.
okay, on the results of those, and then have staff reach out to them?
That sounds great to me too. Yeah, I am on that wavelength too.
Yeah, I move to recommend GPP as the internal audit, bearing confirmation on the references, positive confirmation on the references, and explanation of the travel.
Wait, if you could modify the motion to say, I move that the audit committee make the recommendation to the commission. The commission will be the ultimate deciding body. Sorry, just to get.
Yeah, I can go for it again.
But we want the background work
Yeah,
done
yeah.
first, right? Okay,
Yes.
just so I understand.
Okay,
Yeah. I move the audit committee recommend GPP to the Grand County Commission as our recommendation for the internal auditor after confirmation of references and confirmation of travel.
Second.
Or explanation of travel.
All right, call for a vote. All in favor? Passes unanimously. All right, that's all we have on the agenda that we can go over, so
Were we not, I thought, was this not on the agenda today?
it isn't.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
we'll put that on the next one. Do we want to, before we,
Pick a date.
yeah,
Yeah,
pick a date
I think so.
before we?
What are we looking, so is this like quarterly, right?
It is quarterly, but do we want to wait a quarter? The commission will pick, or the commission will ratify our decision, but the commission won't give the direction, so we need to come back
I would say like,
in a month.
yeah,
I would
I'd say
say.
after.
I'll be traveling at the end of June, or the middle of July, otherwise it should be around. So a month from now is a good time for me.
Yeah,
Gonna do it, let's do it, why don't we do it at the same time, either the Wednesday or Thursday after our next commission meeting, because we'll all be in town for that, right? Or not next commission meeting, but the first commission meeting in June.
so which is the third, right?
There, so maybe the fourth or fifth.
Either one's fine.
Fourth is better for me. Five, I'm at a CIB retreat.
I'm good with the fourth, I think.
So fourth would work.
Okay, 11 o'clock.
Let me see here. 11, unless we want to do it earlier.
Earlier is always better for me.
I'm fine with 9. Karen, what's your time schedule there? Where are we at compared to you?
She's in Texas.
I'm an hour ahead of you. I'm central, but I'm here for you, so it's absolutely fine, whatever time you guys work out.
Noon
Gentlemen,
there.
work out.
So
so she's-
if we did it at 9, it'd be 10 her time.
Yeah, so let's do 9-hour time, Karen. Early's
Yes, sir.
always as well. On the 4th of June. And then also Mark or Quinn, if we could put out an actual invite. And do we want to determine agenda items now? We'll want to include the internal audit report that we received from EFG.
Wasn't he gonna finish up with a couple other?
He was gonna finish up with everything he was working on.
Okay, so maybe,
So, but, Brian listed several things that he wanted
Yeah.
looked at, different departments. But I think at that point was when we said, let's let Cody finish up what he's actually had.
okay, and that was just the airport.
That's all
It's
he
just the
said.
airport, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's cool. So look at the airport, and then
Let's just say we can provide instruction.
to the new.
Yeah, to the new
To a
auditor.
new one.
Yeah,
Provide
just provide instruction.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, make sure I get this right. Steven Stocks, Mark Tyner, Karen Curtin, Jacques Hedler, Dana Van Horn, Bill Winfield, Brian Martinez.
Thanks.
We also had in the last one that it would be helpful to have Gabe here. I would imagine for giving instruction
Well,
or no.
I think that Gabe is when we need something from Gabe, otherwise
Okay.
we actually are the auditor over Gabe's department, so having him here, I think.
Is a
was
conflict.
as well.
Got it.
Checks and
Okay.
balances.
I think that a special invitation to Gabe though for informational purposes is appropriate, but Bill's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect, yep.
Well, and the meeting's posted online. I mean, if he's curious about it, pop in and listen to the minutes or review the minutes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Would you gentlemen like to I don't know if you've sent out the RFP for the external auditor?
Not yet.
No,
We haven't, but we probably had thought, do we need to make that decision in a committee meeting? Really, that's,
I don't know. I don't think that you made the decision to send out the RFP. Well, you sort of made it at the last meeting that you wanted to do an RFP for internal and external. And I sent them both. The one for the external was scheduled to be released on May 12th. And if we follow the schedule that I drafted, of course, you're welcome to change it. But if that was the case, the RFPs were due back June 2nd.
I don't think that RFP has been issued yet.
Yeah, I don't think that one's going out yet.
Okay.
I think that the reason, Karen, just so you know, is we had about 11 other RFPs out at that exact same timeframe. And it just,
Okay.
And where
Gotcha.
that external auditor didn't really need to be picked until a little bit later in the year, we decided to just bump the timeline back a little.
Super.
Yeah, it needs to
Oh.
happen.
so do
Will-
anything on the agenda regarding that though?
I would put like an update.
Select, or could we do selection at that point?
I don't know that.
No, because we
enough
wouldn't have time for it to be back. It's 30
Oh.
days, right?
It depends, we can make it for however long we want, but I would suggest longer is better. in
Right.
that case.
So just an update.
An update.
Just update on the external RFP.
And do you gentlemen know the status of the external audit itself? The financial statement audit?
I don't know Gabe gave a brief update yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This
Today,
morning,
yeah.
this morning.
This morning,
Yeah.
that's right.
Larson has been on site and they are working on that audit, but I don't have a time frame as to when that will be completed yet, Karen.
So not likely at the June meeting, sounds like.
I don't think so.
Okay.
And would the update from all of the other entities that have to, that's been,
Voting.
SSDs.
yeah, has that been Have we pushed harder on that this year? 'Cause I
We've
know-
definitely pushed harder on it. I know Mark's reached out to them a couple of times. I don't know how effective that pushing has been. I don't know if it's tomorrow, but I should reach out.
Can we do a follow-up? That's outside of this meeting clearly, but, and in case we need to give them a hard deadline.
I think Dana was going to reach out as well as what I've already done.
I think that adds
Just to keep
to
that in
Gabe's
front of
stress
everybody.
level immensely.
Yeah.
We really need to pressure them to be on time or timely. But I think we have everything. We've got the date, we've got the agenda set. The attendees.
And we can, of course, added something to the agenda up until we publish
Right,
it.
right up until it's
Anyone
posted.
has anything?
Wait, let me capture in the minutes exactly what you guys want for the next agenda. So just run that down for me again, will you please?
And then the internal audit report by Cody Dieter, which was the airport. Second item is to provide instruction to the new internal auditor. And third is to update on the external auditor RFP.
And update on component units.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Just my personal feeling, but I think those component units, they need to have a hard deadline. This is it in the future.
It's always
I mean,
shit, right?
it's no different than, we have a hard deadline when we have to be in a commission meeting. It's just like, listen, this is life. Get those turned in. So, but try and take some of that pressure off of Gabe,
Yeah.
waiting on that.
Yeah,
It'd drive me nuts working around all those different schedules when people aren't meeting some kind of a deadline. All right, so we can adjourn this meeting.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you so much for your time, Karen. We appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. Have a nice day.
Yeah, you too.
That was nice.
I saw it was 30 minutes, so I'm like.
Yeah.
Just come and do that.
Run around.
I think I've got, okay, I'll send it out and you guys can beat me up a little bit.
And you gentlemen will follow up with two requests of GPP.
Yes.
Great.
All right, I'll see these minutes out here in a minute. Let me go one more time again.
We have an AI component to Google Meets that's actually pretty impressive. The hard thing is if you're in person, if a lot of people in person, I can't pick up the names, but it's shockingly effective on if you have meetings in Google Meets and people join it, it takes really good notes.
We used one that was on a cell phone,
Hang on.
you know, just a little small little app. As long as people introduce themselves before they spoke,
Like you just said on the table.
they just put it right on the table. I mean, it took minutes
They have to introduce themselves every time.
every time. Yep. On that one, they had to introduce themselves.
Hang on.
Brian, and I would go ahead and talk.